Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to use double angle formula to do some work example for you. In this example, it is a relatively difficult question, so I will spend more time in explaining how do I tackle this problem. For part A, you need to consider 3x as 2x plus x, and you need to express sine 3x in terms of sine x. So that means you should start from sine of 3x and follow the hint. You rewrite it as 2x plus x. And you write it in this way. You can consider combined angle formula. One angle is 2a and the other angle is one angle is 2x and one is x. So we can write it as sine of 2x cosine x plus cosine of 2x sine x. And there's just only one way to reduce this angle for sine 2x. So we have 2 of sine x cosine x. And there's one more cosine x here, so I make it cosine x squared. And for cosine, we have several ways to rewrite, right? And since the result is in terms of sine x, so I would choose to write it as in terms of sine x. So we recall this. So we have 1 minus 2 sine square x times sine x. And for cosine square x, we can use the identity to rewrite it as 1 minus sine square x. And remove the bracket, we have sine x minus 2 sine cube x. In the end, we have 2 sine x plus sine x, that is 3 sine x, negative 2 sine cube x minus 2 sine cube x, minus 4 sine cube x. Okay, so it's part A. And as practice, you can try to express cosine 3x in terms of cosine x. Okay, it's left for your practice. Now for part B is the most difficult part. By considering sine of pi over 5 and the result of A, you need to show this number is a root to this equation. Now, what do we have for part A? We have expressed sine of 3x is in terms of sine x. And you are asked to consider sine of pi over 5. So you would expect this term is something related to this one, right? That means this is the, it may be the hint, it may be the result, since you know that sine pi over 5 and cosine pi over 5 are closely related. And how do we make use of this sine of 3x? And this is the most difficult part. And in this kind of question, you may consider something like this, and this is quite weird for you to consider. Anyway, when I want to make use of the result of part A, I would say x is pi over 5. So we say let x to be pi over 5. Then I need to make use of something related to 3x. And also I need to find something special with this number pi over 5. And the special thing for this number is that 5x is pi. Because we can do simplification related to pi, or even pi over 2, but then simply pi here. And since I need to make use of sine of 3x, and thus I need to take out 3x and move the 2x to the right. And this is the most difficult part of this question. Now, we take the sine on both sides and we get on the right hand side sine 2x. And now we can finally make use of the result of A by considering x being pi over 5 or sine of pi over 5. So we have 3 sine x minus 4 sine cube x. And for sine 2x, there's just only one way to rewrite it, sine x cosine x. Now, we have sine x in each term, and since x is pi over 5, we know that sine x is not 0 because sine of pi over 5 is not 0. As long as you confirm that a number is not 0 or an unknown is non-zero, then you can do the cancellation. So for the next step, we can cancel the sine x for each term. And finally, what you need to show? You need to show cosine of pi over 5 is a root. That means here cosine x is a solution. So you need to rewrite this sine square x into cosine. By using identity. And now by expanding the bracket, you have 4 cosine square x plus 3 minus 4 and then minus 2 cosine x equals 0. And 4 cosine square x minus 2 cosine x minus 1 is 0. So note that x equals pi over 5, record it again. Then cosine of pi over 5 is root of 4t squared minus 2t minus 1 equals 0. Isn't it amazing? Okay. Now, for part C. Part C, you need to express sine 3 pi over 10 in short form. And the word hence reminds you to make use of the result of part B. That means maybe you need to find out the value of cosine pi over 5 first. Okay, so let's find it out. We make use of the quadratic formula to get 2 plus or minus 2 squared minus 4 negative 1 square root over 2 times 4. And t is equal to 2 plus, this is root 20, that is 2 root 5 over 8, that is 1 plus root 5 over 4, or t is equal to 1 minus root 5 over 4. Note that cosine pi over 5 is a positive number, so you reject this value of t. And you know that cosine pi over 5 is 1 plus root 5 over 4 already, and you need to find the relation between pi over 5 and 3 pi over 10. And if you do not know so well about pi over 5 and 3 pi over 10, you can use your calculator to find it. Okay, pi over 5 is about 36 degrees. And what's 3 pi over 10? 3 pi over 10 is 54 degrees. What's the relation between these two angles? Yes, the sum of these two angles is pi over 2, and pi over 2 is special, so we can do it in this way. Since pi over 5 is equal to pi over 2 minus 3 pi over 10. So we take cosine on both sides so that we know that cosine pi over 5 is 1 plus root 5 over 4. And cosine of pi over 2, you can change the shape from cosine to sine. So that is sine of 3 pi over 10 is actually cosine power over 5, that is 1 plus root 5 over 4. Okay? So make sure you know you got some hints in dealing with part B. It's the most difficult part that you may not have enough hints or experience in starting in this way. Okay? So that's all for the video here, and there's more examples coming for the double angle formula. Stay tuned. Okay, thanks for watching.